What'd you say, Ross?
Taj, bring us in on this one, man.
How you feeling about this, Taj?
So, Taj, what you think, bro?
Okay, I'm gonna give you the title, brother.
5 million
This move to San
reparations
Fran?
in
Yes.
San Francisco.
So, is it gonna be only San Fran?
5 million checks for each person?
Yes.
Each person.
Not each
That's
person.
what it says.
Say each person.
So I'll have one.
No,
You're not in San Fran, bro.
You get 2.5.
So I got
I'm not
get a new.
complaining.
We get.
I would love to
I'm
see
a little
my-
question about you,
You
boy.
gotta be
I don't know.
So they gonna have white? Have black parents, maybe I'm like 75.
You got black hair, but the eyes.
He got something, man.
I know a couple full black guys with green eyes.
So that means
Brother,
I know some
This is
dark
one of
skins
them.
that's like my color.
Your hair is saying Uganda, but your eyes are saying Italy. I don't know what's going on now. I don't know what's going on there, but
You know what?
Played you.
So if I'm 75% here.
I mean, you be 25% white?
You still get 7% of the 5 million.
Yeah, no, but what's that?
Like 3 point something.
I was thinking it's not 3.5.
So you
That's
telling me?
3.7.
So you telling me if I go to
No,
San
not-
Fran right
No,
now?
no.
You was getting 120%.
You tell me I go to San Fran?
They would say, oh, yeah, you
Switch my
it's
ID.
allowed for you. You gonna do the quick line. Son, you ain't gotta build too much time. We can tell, nigga. You is getting that. I
you ain't
did that.
missing nothing.
Hell no. You black, nigga. You know what I mean? Taj,
Yeah, it's 3.7. It's 3.7.
Whitfield plantation.
All right, I'll take my 3.75 if I have 25% white.
Tennessee. Oh, yeah, baby.
The key here is looking like we have to be in San Francisco.
Get the lid. You move
You
that.
gotta live there a couple years, don't you?
Why is San Francisco getting 5 million? Wasn't
Yeah,
no
that
slaves in
makes
musty
sense,
ass
man.
California?
Yeah, that is a big question.
They just broke out there because it's expensive.
Okay,
to live
before
out
we
there.
get to what these guys are talking about, I want y'all to see this.
Do you know? Did they? They probably did, bro. We probably didn't know.
Yeah.
Was there slaves in California? That's not the
Damn,
South,
man.
bro.
Bro,
California, was that even the state when it was slavery? Was there slaves?
I don't know. But I'm gonna give it 100. I would not be surprised if they had slaves. I don't know where they had slaves. They didn't have slaves.
All right, guys.
New York
Okay.
had no slaves.
The state did not have slavery.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
understand that.
Why are they getting $5 million?
Yeah, I don't understand. But look at this.
What
guys.
reparations do they need?
That's our ancestors, bro.
Before we get to that
We
video,
oppressed.
person. San Francisco could become the first major U.S. city to fund
I need that.
reparations as that idea gains traction now across the country. Critics say reparations are flawed and financially unfeasible. Reparations advocates say the harms of slavery have continued since its official end in 1865. Before today's meeting, supporters held a rally to talk about why reparations are needed.
We've heard a lot of critics and even some of you may be questioning, why would we be seeking
Selling husbands now, okay. All right, so when you get mad, get you your papers.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are back.
Back at
Back with
it.
it. Like a good wig. Like a good wig. Like a good wig. Yeah, like a good wig. And it's back with it. A good wig. You know what a good wig is.
I don't. Jess and May might know what a good wig is.
They don't know who that is. That's probably,
They know.
that probably
It's a
about
couple of
10,000
videos.
subs back.
Maybe. Okay.
And 10,000 new might not know.
Might not.
And
What we
do
got?
appreciate y'all. All 66,000 of y'all going on 67,000.
Yeah, man.
We
Such a
appreciate
true
y'all.
blessing. Yes.
And we welcome all
Yes.
to the additional 30 some thousand to get this road to 100K.
I can't wait till we have a meetup, guys. It's gonna be nice. Don't know where, don't know when, but maybe this year.
Yep. And I can't wait to put that 100K plaque on right there behind us.
That's
It's on
right.
the spot right there next to Bob Marley.
That's right. It's coming.
See possible, and so many of our children in the city of Albany don't get to see possible, but right now they're going to see a 22-year-old young man who's not.
So in keeping with my promise to elevate black voices that deserve to be heard and are completely
Lawrence, I'll say this. I believe, that anybody who says that something can't be done doesn't know my God. And I think that's extremely important for us to know. We have to make sure that we are creating competing machines for these different progressive systems that are plaguing and destroying our communities. Our children are failing at reading. Our children are failing at many different things in our local hometown of Albany, Georgia. But here we are trying to help our young men and push them forward by creating this program called the X for Boys. We read with them them weekly. This is every week. We do workshops with them. We teach them firearms training. We teach them how to work on cars. We teach them how to work on houses. They've done welding, many different things, just trying to give them an idea of how to make it and how to survive, how to make it happen. These children just need to see possible. And so many of our children in the city of Albany don't get to see possible. But right now, they're going to see a 22-year-old young man who's not too far out from age from any of the boys in the program. They're going to see me open up my own school in fall of 2022, and we're going to flourish. They told me that it was going to be impossible to run our school on private donors, yet here our private donors have shown up in 24 hours for us to raise $50,000 for renovations on our new 3 buildings that we purchased. So here we are defying the odds because they don't know my God.
So, King, I guess my big question, it's almost rhetorical. Why don't we hear more stories like you out there? Because they exist. I try to cover them every week.
I'll definitely say many of our favorite black leaders whom are pushed in the media, whom have their fists up, etc., are more focused on, the different ideologies that are kind of plaguing our communities. I always say, people have accused me of getting funding from the GOP, etc. I'm like, actually, I haven't gotten a call from the GOP, but your favorite black voices are being paid by this same system that you claim is oppressing you. But you get mad at me and call me a sellout for not selling out to the system. This is what we deal with. I remember one of the biggest catchphrases for Black Lives Matter was, "I can't breathe." Well, we have so many young black men in our cities that are saying right now that they can't breathe, yet they're standing around. They have so much energy for young black men after they're dead, but we need to be fighting for young black men before they die.
Maybe the GOP should call you. Maybe every conservative organization that is focused on outreach should reach out to you. You're teaching them stuff that is going to carry them a lifetime. You're not just teaching them, you're making the next generation of men that are going to take care of their families, that when their wife can't do her oil change, that can change the tire, do the oil change, all of that. And it shouldn't be just, peed on.
Right, absolutely. And, I shun at people who try to politicize my message. I've had a lot of, people, even conservatives, get upset with me for maybe going to different spaces to where maybe black people don't have the best, ideas or sayings about white people or et cetera. And I'm just like, no, I have to go to these spaces to give the message. I have to go there and tell them the truth about what's actually going on in our communities, because the black voices that they're putting out in front of us are not telling us the truth about what's going on in our communities. We have to push that forward. So, yes, we're building young men. I'm trying to make it a unity piece where we're unifying so many different groups of people. Our following is so diverse.
And now we're tiptoeing around your feelings?
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
that is insane.
Yep.
All right, welcome to our couch. Today we have a little unusual kind of video to check out. It just kind of shows how we're not in the best shape as a country right now. Lex has not seen this video, by the way, but I saw it. I was like, oh, let's do this. So here we are. Let's get into it.
Justin here, and today we're in the beautiful Times Square in New York City, doing a collab with Fleckus Talks. We're just gonna go around and ask people, see if they know anything at all. Can you name the continents?
What the f? No? Bitch, like, isn't it like Alaska? I got it right, you see Alaska! Oh, bitch. It's like, New Jersey? Alaska?
Yeah.
Ah, you see Alaska?
So you got Alaska, New Jersey.
Hawaii?
Yes. What's Obama's last name? Wait. The president, Obama. What's his last name? Quick. Just say it.
I don't.
Say it. Say it.
Obama. What is his last name?
I'm asking you. Just say it. First thing.
His last name?
Say it.
Wow. Never in a million years did I think I'd live to see the day where someone gets arrested for telling the truth. Well, here we go, folks. A student at St. Joseph's High School in Ontario, Canada, says he was suspended, and later police had him in custody for organizing school protests against biological males in girls' bathrooms. Something that, common sense would say isn't okay, promotes sick, nasty predators, putting ladies in danger. But hey, this is the world we're living in today. That brave young man's name is Josh Alexander. He also says that he argued in class that God created 2 unchangeable genders. Amen. He did. Accurate. Spot on. His lawyer says that the school accused him of bullying transgender students, which is absolute insanity. So let's see what else he has to say in this EWTN News interview. Here we go.
The Archdiocese of Portland, Oregon is the latest to push back on what it calls gender identity theory. In a document released to teachers and others, Archbishop Alexander Sample wrote, "This means that names, pronouns, facilities use, attire, and sports participation should depend upon biological sex identity rather than self-perceived gender identity." Meantime, a student at St. Joseph's High School in Ontario, Canada, was arrested and charged with trespassing for attempting to take part in his classes. This after Josh Alexander says that he was suspended for organizing school protests against biological males in girls' bathrooms.
I used to get these kids who would walk up to me in school because I lived in a mainly white area, and they'd go, "Oh my gosh, can I touch your hair? Like, your hair's so cool. You have an afro." And I would be like, these evil racist kids want to touch my hair, when it was just curiosity.
Right.
It was just them wanting to know somebody who's different and possibly create a friendship with me. But because I was looking for it, it's what I found. Guys, before we get into this clip, you can check out the full podcast with Cameron Hanes by going to his channel. It'll be linked in the description down below. Plus, if you want to be updated when I do things like this and when new episodes come out, plus when my vlog, A Day in the Life of Cameron Hanes, comes out, you can sign up for my email and newsletter by going to the link in the description, signing up with your email, and you'll get updates and personal info from me.
What is the answer, from your perspective, what is the answer to the race relations in this country right now?
Just stop talking about race.
How are we going to get rid of racism and stop talking about it?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I mentioned that yesterday about this, like, oh, they're like keeping it out there.
Yep.
And I don't know who they are. I guess media.
Yeah, it's hard to decipher at this
But
point.
yeah, but so you think, I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest. I've lived here my whole life. Maybe this isn't the most like diverse place in the world.
Sure.
But I've never seen from my perspective racism or heard somebody actually like portray it how I guess the media or how people want to say it. I've never seen it here. I mean, this isn't the South. I get it. I'm sure there's places where it's terrible, but here I haven't. And it makes it seem like it's everywhere and there's injustice everywhere. But I don't think that's the case.
One of the ways that we can gauge whether justice is being done is by looking to see if justice is being applied equally. And equally means that if you have two guys who do similar or roughly the same thing, they are charged and prosecuted in the same way, and they receive sort of the same penalty or a similar penalty. Yesterday, I went on Joe Walsh's podcast. In fact, it's out today. You can see it. You can hear it on Spotify or watch it on YouTube. It was actually a very lively and respectful conversation of a kind that really doesn't happen a whole lot today. But we were talking about January 6th, and Joe was pressing me, well, don't you agree, Dinesh, it was wrong for people to go inside the Capitol? And I go, yeah, it was. And I said that, look, there are people who committed misdemeanors. They went in there. They didn't mean to break the law, but they did break the law. They didn't do any vandalism. They were completely peaceful, and they left shortly thereafter. Well, those people should get a misdemeanor, which basically means you get a warning or some community service. But you're not going to take a 75-year-old grandmother, I'm giving you an actual case. In fact, I had Pamela Hemphill on the show, and lock them up for 60 days because they walked into the Capitol for 10 minutes.
I love getting to come to churches. And before I go and speak anywhere, it's pretty interesting. I get invited to speak because people see my social media. They see me being outspoken about issues and policies and things that matter. Current events, and then I show up and bring a message of hope and a message that I believe heaven is wanting to bring. And it's so well received. I spoke in Las Vegas the weekend before last and ended with just a hardcore, it's about kingdom, it's about alignment with heaven and God. And I had, right when I was done, I had one of the oldest living World War II veterans walked up to the front on his own and just wanted to shake my hand. And I just reached down and gave him a hug. Little did I know he only had one hand. His other hand was missing. But it's so good to see that people are hungry and they understand the need for us to walk boldly in our faith. The enemy led our country into a lie when pastors and politicians said we got to separate church and state. And homes, pastors are like, we don't talk politics. We're seeing right now what takes place in a country where people of faith remove themselves from politics. Evil erupts. When you understand and appreciate this beautiful country that we live in, you have to understand and appreciate its foundation. And the reason we have the Constitution of the United States and the way it's grafted is because of our Judeo-Christian values and beliefs.
Trust in the mainstream media has been gradually eroding for a very long time. As of recent Gallup polling, it showed that the average American, only 7% of the average Americans out there actually strongly trust in the mainstream media or feel a degree of confidence in the mainstream media and the news articles that we are force-fed here in 2022. Now, I would argue that that is intentional on the part of the mainstream media because we've seen them go to increasing lengths to squelch certain stories if they put individuals on the left in a negative light. But it is very important to understand just how we've gotten to this point to begin with. And in order to do so, we have to turn back the clock just a little bit, all the way back to 1968. There was a journalism historian by the name of Daniel C. Hallin, Hallin. And what he posited to the community at that time through his book, The Uncensored War, talking about the way the Vietnam War was presented and reported on by the mainstream media, was he was talking about the different ways in which they frame or report on certain articles. And what he came up with was actually really interesting, and they're called Holland's spheres. That's why I titled this video Rings of Power, because these spheres do indicate the power that mainstream media entities or even news publications truly have. In order to do this, what I'm going to do is actually pull up this little mini whiteboard here, and all I'm going to do to demonstrate this is to draw a first large circle right here, all right? This is the outermost circle in Holland's spheres. Now, inside this circle, we're going to draw a slightly smaller one, and then we're going to draw one more in the middle. I'm going to explain to you what this all means. Right here in the middle is the first of the spheres, because Holland's posited that there were three particular spheres in which much of mainstream media's news reports would come from or where they would actually fall. This first sphere right here is called the sphere of consensus. Now, this is where more or less there are topics that sometimes news media reports on that are deemed to be the general consensus. Therefore, no debate really is necessary or needed. And typically, you'll see news reporters who are in this sphere right here not really try to present the other side of an argument because there really is no other side. For example,
What I will say about Madonna, the gays are going to kill me. I saw her one time and it wasn't great.
I saw her once. New York Confessions on the Dance Floor?
It wasn't. It was MDNA.
Oh, that's the one.
That's the one. Yeah.
That was the whole dance album, right?
No, Confessions was the dance album.
Okay, so that's
MDNA was like in 2012.
I think I was on MDMA when I went to that.
When you went there?
That's what it was, okay.
I paid a lot of money for those tickets. We were at Madison Square Garden, somewhere out in Jersey.
I was at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I was way up there in the rafters. And I was just like, yeah. I'll wait till the farewell Vegas tour where she finally does all the things that people want to hear.
Right. Well, age-wise, she's getting there.
Yeah, but you know, she keeps it together. She keeps it together.
She does. All right, let's Let's talk a little bit about, I've heard Candace talk about how most black people actually are conservatives, but they sort of don't know it or they can't accept it because of the way the media has treated black people, that the default position is you must be a Democrat.
Yeah.
Do you sense that?
I sense that. And to get into that, you really have to understand how deeply entrenched this idea that black people have to be Democrats is. And I said this a little bit on the Vice thing that I did. We have black celebrities, entertainers, ball players, athletes, from the top of the charts to the Insta thought with 10,000 followers. These are all people that are pushing leftists. You know, they're pushing leftist tactics. And black people, we, more so than I think other races, we look for representation in media and we look for representation in pop culture. And these are our heroes. These are the people that we want to be like. And that's one of the reasons why this idea that we have to be on the left is so firmly entrenched.
So why do you think that is, looking for it sort of elsewhere? Do you think that has something to do with the black family and some of the stuff that Larry Elder would talk about?
It has everything to do with what Larry Elder is talking about. Larry Elder will tell you, and I'm pretty sure he did, that the number one
Larry
issue...
Elder kicked the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That's what woke me up.
Yeah. But Larry Elder will tell you that the number one problem in the black community is black fatherlessness, right?
Yeah.
That we don't have men in the homes. And so when there's not a man in the home, when there's not a man to raise that young man in the home, they look to athletes, ball players, the Colin Kaepernicks, whoever. And so when Colin Kaepernick, just to give an example, is some kid's hero, right? And he sees Colin Kaepernick taking a knee for Black Lives Matter. And that's where he's getting his politics from, because that kid doesn't know who I am. That kid certainly doesn't know who Larry Elder is. And the fact that that kid is not going to know who Larry Elder is a shame. You know what I mean? And so that's the message that we get, even though black people do tend to be a little bit.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. I'm Van. We are all the LFR family, especially if you already clicked the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell, all those other things. Hopefully this video is good enough for you to share it, want to share it. I have included the original link of the video that I'm checking out because someone said that I should check out Ty Smith. He was talking about critical race theory. Apparently there was like a 2-minute clip of him at, I guess, a meeting somewhere. And I don't know. I'm just now becoming aware of all these different council meetings and this place and that place. But anyway, he blew it up on that particular video. Now I was about to check it out, and then I saw my girl, I saw Candace actually interviewing him about this exact same thing. Two birds with one stone. That's just how I feel. These two people are really about that. They're really about getting out there, using their voices, using their knowledge that they've been studying this for a great long time. And I would like to see the both of them discuss this because I believe it's important to my growth. Now, I'm a little selfish in checking this video out because I could have just checked out Ty Smith's video and just responded to that. But I would like to see them discuss it. If that's okay. So hopefully y'all are here for it. Again, make sure y'all check out hatsforsale.com. Make sure you put in LFR10 promo.
Welcome back. As you all know, the internet is a dark, lonely, horrible, backwards place. But occasionally, some light breaks through. If you have been online in the past few weeks, you are probably familiar with the viral video of radio host and father Ty Smith criticizing the idea of teaching critical race theory at a school board meeting in Illinois. Let's take a look.
You gonna deliberately teach kids this white kid right here got it better than you because he white? You gonna purposely tell a white kid, oh, the black people are all down and suppressed? How do I have 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed? How do I get, first of all, time up, because I only got 5 minutes now, 5 minutes. 2 medical degrees, no mom, no dad in the house, worked my way through college, sat there and hustled my butt off to get through college. You gonna tell me somebody that looked like all y'all white folks kept me from doing that? Are you serious?
So amazing. Wow. Everyone, please welcome to the show, Ty Smith.
Okay, first of all, I have to interject. I need to go check that video out. Hopefully she shows the entire video because that right there, that hustle, first of all, I commend you. Congratulations. That's phenomenal. 2 medical degrees. What the heck? I couldn't even get through daggone real estate classes. And I failed 3 times. I need to step my daggone game up. Some people are just those type of thinkers. And apparently Ty Smith is. That's tremendous. No parents in the house. And you still hustle your butt off for 2 medical degrees. And he said, you expect for me to try to figure out how come all these white people hold me back? They not hold me back. These white people ain't hold me back. Wow, bruh. You don't want to let black people hear you talking like that because they're going to be like, oh, so you one of them, huh?
Wow. So that was incredible. And I think first questions would just be, what is the backstory to this? Like, what made you decide to go to the school board meeting?
Wow.
What is the story?
I was simply asked to go. And what I was told is that, Ty, there's no one that's in the black community that ever shows up in these school board meetings. And some of the big topics that they talk about is what's going on in the black neighborhoods. And they're trying to introduce this type of what they call curricula into the school systems that may possibly be teaching kids basically to be racist against each other. And I'm like, what is this? There's like, it's called critical race theory. So different friends of mine handed me different versions, almost like a Bible. Like you got the New International Version, the King James Version of critical race theory. And I'm reading through all these things, but once I read through them, the basis of it was they are teaching racism. Wow. They are teaching kids to be racist against each other. And so when I went to this school board meeting, I got to sitting down. I just wanted to hear everybody's take on it because I read it. I got my take from it. I heard people get up and talk about what their take was on it. You got some that actually opposed it, but majority were like, they're for it. Like, this is what we need. This needs to be taught because it's our fault what's happened to the black people. Look what we've done. Our forefathers. What 2 songs are these?
This before, to be honest. I've never heard this before. The fingers keep pointing, but it don't point at themselves. Huh? How crazy is this? To know that, look, within our race, it was so prominent, it was so much, but they keep pointing the finger to somebody else. No, but I wasn't wrong up in mind. Hi guys, it's the Island Girl and I'm back with another reaction video for you, and this one is highly overdue. Alright, this one is Facts About Slavery Never Mentioned in School by Thomas Sowell. Okay, now I did a video a couple weeks ago, British Ended Slavery, which was a shocker to me because I had no clue, wasn't taught. And so I kept seeing this in the comment section that I should check this out. So without further ado, your girl going to get right into it. All right, so this one came highly recommended. They say, Island Girl, you need to take a look at this one. So that's exactly what I'm about to do. So if you're new to my channel and it's your first time here, come on in, right back, put a smile on your face. Hey Bambi. Okay, and enjoy. To all my regular smugglers, my day one, my sweetie pies, my sweetie poos, thank you for being here with your girl. Don't forget to right back, put a smile on your face, and enjoy. Don't know if this is something to enjoy. This is going to be an informative one. Kids are off from spring break, so they'll be going back and forth and chatting and laughing. So you don't know, Island Girl have 5 little babies around here, so it's a part of it. That's what makes this channel the way it is. Alright guys? Alright, without further ado, with all this long talking, let's see what this is all about. Alright? Here we go. Okay, this excerpt is taken from the book Black Rednecks and White Liberals. Okay, now, Untold Facts About Slavery. Right, here we go.
The instrumental use of the history of slavery today also underlies the claim that slavery grew out of racism. For most of its long history, which includes most of the history of the human race, Slavery was largely not the enslavement of racially different people, for the simple reason that only in recent centuries has either the technology or the wealth existed to go to another continent to get slaves and transport them en masse across an ocean. People were enslaved because they were vulnerable, not because of how they looked. The peoples of the Balkans were.
I've had a few friends that are now 6 feet under because of the issue.
The DEA calls it the deadliest drug threat our country has ever faced.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the federal government through the DEA warning all citizens about the drug called Shrink that is sweeping our nation. Now, this drug is a horse tranquilizer called xylazine mixed with fentanyl. So although the tranquilizer is not an opioid, the purpose of it in this context is to increase the potency of fentanyl, which goes right back to the opioid crisis that has been plaguing our nation for many, many years now, that has killed over 100,000 Americans in 2022. And if I'm wrong about that, y'all let me know in the comments below. Now, there's quite a bit I could say here. Some say, hey, legalize all drugs, ABL. That'll solve the problem. Some say, hey, let's create shooting galleries. Before I get to all those questions, comments, concerns, solutions, let's go back a little bit and look at the video. If you want to see this video in full without my commentary,